Now, anyone who's a parent will have thought about this already. How much time should our kids be spending online? Well, a new report from health officials has some pretty worrying findings. It says too much screen time could be causing mental illness and social problems for children. Loneliness, depression, anxiety, low self-esteem and even heightened aggression are all identified as possible issues. Well, let's discuss this now with Liz Fraser from Headcase, a website aimed at changing the face of mental health, and the psychologist Donna Dawson, both mums as well. They're both a vested interest in this. Me too, I'm a dad. Liz, the report from Public Health England, though, doesn't set any recommendations on how long is healthy. They seem to suggest that more than 4 hours a day is too much, which seems about right. But how should people manage this? How should parents do that?
They haven't put a figure on it because you can't, really. I mean, we can't empirically measure at what point it becomes bad for you and at what point it becomes not bad for you. So it's impossible to put a number on it. And I think what we all as a society need to understand is that this is very new, this is a new thing. So we're actually all learning as we go along how this affects us. I mean, you know, a lot of these social networking sites weren't even around 5 or 7 years ago. And I think what parents need to sort of think of in terms of screen time and social networking is think about it like anything else your children do which has a potential risk. You can't stop them doing it always. There are things that we can do within the home, we'll get onto that. So I can't always tell what my teenage daughters are doing when they're outside my house, when they're at school or at a friend's house. What I can do, what we can all do, is educate them and tell them what the negative effects are. And if you're on these social networking sites or on screen a lot, the pressure on your brain, your eyes, your self-esteem, seeing all these wonderful images. Yeah. We know children are actually feeling worse and worse about themselves. You need to get away from it.
So, Donna, it's not just the interaction part. I mean, what about the physical aspect of this, of staring at a screen, a backlit screen, for too long?
Well, absolutely. It'll hurt your eyes and it will affect your body. But I'm more concerned with what's happening on the social networking sites when you are busy projecting a persona. And teenagers need to do this. They need to project something better than themselves because they're still forming their personalities. They're insecure in themselves. They're projecting outwards, and the temptation is to make yourself better than you actually are. It's so easy to do because you're not doing it in person, so there's no embarrassing telltale signs that you're lying. And you can build this persona, you can Photoshop your photos, make yourself look great. The trouble is, once you get into that game, it's all about upmanship. And you tend to believe what other people are sending you at face value, because we all do it, teenagers especially. Yeah. But you also know the truth about yourself. So there's already a discord between what you're doing and what you don't think they're doing, but they're doing the same. And so you tend to get very anxious about this. And the only place, really, after a while, is down. And what tends to happen is you start getting anxious about the discrepancies, about having to maybe keep lying, to keep competing. And then you get all the other problems associated with that, lack of confidence, depression, and anger, because anger is about kicking back at something you can't control.
Here's the thing, Liz, that first mum that Peter talked to there, she had her own mobile in her hand. We're the ones setting the example here, aren't we?
You're absolutely right, and it is by leading by example, and we were discussing this earlier on. I mean, the first thing I do when I wake up is I check my messages on my phone. That's what I do. I wake up, it's my alarm clock. So, you know, what can we do? Okay, so we can take these things away from them at the end of the night. We have a curfew kind of now, so about 8:30 at night, right, everything in. Switch them off, put them away. And I also think it's very unfair to ask children to self-regulate. I am incapable of self-regulating. Most adults are. So how can you expect an 11 or a 14-year-old to decide, I think I've had enough time? We have to help them with this. We really do.
And a message on Facebook from Teresa Cave. My son is nearly 14. He uses his computer for his homeschooling as well as for fun. I find it makes him overactive at night if he doesn't turn it off at least 2 hours before bedtime. Donna, more advice along those lines,
Well, it
please.
stimulates the brain. You know, it hits the arousal centers, particularly if you're playing games. You're into kind of, you know, rewarding the pleasure centers of the brain, and also you're getting the adrenaline going. So too much game playing can give you a tendency to kind of fast, aggressive reactions, which are not great in personal relationships as well as for your health.
Let's not be too down on it, though. This is a useful tool, as Teresa said, that her son uses it for schooling as well. Let's finish on a positive note.
It is a really useful tool. Exactly, and they've got to be able to use it. They can't go into the place of work without being able to use this. But there was, just last point, there was very good things in the news this week about sleep and body rhythms. And what they're saying is that the light from these screens is actually interfering with that. And so as you would naturally towards the end of the day, your body produces different chemicals, which makes you a little warmer and a little sleepier. Children who are going on screens till late at night, this is not happening to them, so they can't go to sleep.
Interferes with melatonin.